Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Contribute to the progress or growth of. Inspire with confidence. Give hope or courage to. Spur on. His financial success encouraged him to look for a wife. Move forward, also in the metaphorical sense. Being ahead of time or need. Gave advance warning. A change for the better, progress in development. A movement forward. Give a promotion to or assign to a higher position. Women tend not to advance in the major law firms. An amount paid before it is earned. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. She rejected his advances. Situated ahead or going before. An advance party. Increase or raise. Increase in price or value. The news caused a general advance on the stock market. Obtain advantages, such as points, etc. Develop in a positive way. Move forward. We have to advance clocks and watches when we travel eastward. The act of moving forward, as toward a goal. Rise in rate or price. Contribute to the progress or growth of. Bring forward for consideration or acceptance. Advance an argument. Cause to move forward. Develop further. Pay in advance. Can you advance me some money? An increase in cost. The act of giving hope or support to someone. Increase or raise. Boost the voltage in an electrical circuit. Increase. Contribute to the progress or growth of. Give a boost to. Be beneficial to. The tax cut will boost the economy. Push or shove upward, as if from below or behind. The singer had to be boosted onto the stage by a special contraption. The act of giving a push. He gave her a boost over the fence. To or at a greater extent or degree or a more advanced stage, further, is used more often than farther, in this abstract sense. Further complicated by uncertainty about the future. Promote the growth of. More distant in especially degree. Nothing could be further from the truth. To or at a greater distance in time or space, farther, is used more frequently than further, in this physical sense. Went only 3 miles further. Contribute to the progress or growth of. Give a promotion to or assign to a higher position. I got promoted after many years of hard work. Make publicity for, try to sell, a product. Contribute to the progress or growth of. Be changed for a superior chess or checker piece. Change a pawn for a better piece by advancing it to the 8th row, or change a checker piece for a more valuable piece by moving it to the row closest to your opponent. Become or cause to become obstructed. Establish as valid or genuine. Can you back up your claims? Move backwards from a certain position. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. Make a copy of a computer file, especially for storage in another place as a security copy. You'd better back up these files. Financial resources provided to make some project possible. The foundation provided support for the experiment. Argue or speak in defense of. She supported the motion to strike. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A military operation, often involving new supplies of men and materiel, to strengthen a military force or aid in the performance of its mission. They called for artillery support. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. He supported me with one hand while I balanced on the beam. Adopt as a belief. The financial means whereby one lives. He applied to the state for support. A musical part, vocal or instrumental, that supports or provides background for other musical parts. The act of bearing the weight of or strengthening. He leaned against the wall for support. Be a regular customer or client of. Documentary validation. The strongest support for this view is the work of Jones. Establish or strengthen as with new evidence or facts. The evidence supports the defendant. Be behind. Approve of. Support with evidence or authority or make more certain or confirm. Give moral or psychological support, aid, or courage to. She supported him during the illness. Aiding the cause or policy or interests of. The president no longer has the support of his own party. Any device that bears the weight of another thing. There was no place to attach supports for a shelf. Play a subordinate role to another performer. Olivier supported Gielgud beautifully in the second act. Something providing immaterial assistance to a person or cause or interest. The policy found little public support. Supporting structure that holds up or provides a foundation. The statue stood on a marble support. Support materially or financially. He does not support his natural children. The activity of providing for or maintaining by supplying with money or necessities. His support kept the family together. Heighten or intensify. Make lively. Heighten or intensify. Serve as the inciting cause of. Fill with revolutionary ideas. Spur on or encourage, especially by cheers and shouts. Draw in air. The lung cancer patient cannot inspire air very well. Supply the inspiration for. The article about the artist inspired the exhibition of his recent work. Give lifelike qualities to. Animated cartoons. Heighten or intensify. Make lively. Give new life or energy to. Endowed with feeling and unstructured consciousness. Belonging to the class of nouns that denote living beings. The word dog is animate. Endowed with animal life as distinguished from plant life. We are animate beings. Impart vigor, strength, or vitality to. Heighten or intensify. Make lively. Give life or energy to. The cold water invigorated him. Heighten or intensify. These paintings exalt the imagination. Praise, glorify, or honor. Fill with sublime emotion. Raise in rank, character, or status. Exalted the humble shoemaker to the rank of king's advisor. Put in order or neaten. Make the bed. Eliminate urine. Have a bowel movement. Institute, enact, or establish. Make laws. Create by artistic means. Make by combining materials and parts. Give certain properties to something. Don't make this into a big deal. Create or design, often in a certain way. Charge with a function. Charge to be. Induce to have sex. Head into a specified direction. Achieve a point or goal. Earn on some commercial or business transaction. Earn as salary or wages. How much do you make a month in your new job? Represent fictitiously, as in a play, or pretend to be or act like. She makes like an actress. Proceed along a path. Make one's way into the forest. The act of mixing cards haphazardly. Reach a goal. Make the first team. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Make a stir. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. Make an estimate. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. Engage in. Make love, not war. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Prepare for eating by applying heat. Can you make me an omelet? A recognizable kind. What make of car is that? To compose or represent. This makes a fine introduction. Make or cause to be or to become. Make a mess in one's office. Create or manufacture a man-made product. Act in a certain way so as to acquire. Make friends. Add up to. 4 and 4 make 8. Amount to. This salary increase makes no difference to my standard of living. Appear to begin an activity. Assure the success of. A good review by this critic will make your play. Behave in a certain way. Make merry. Be or be capable of being changed or made into. He makes a great host. Be suitable for. Wood makes good furniture. Calculate as being. I make the height about 100 feet. Carry out or commit. Make a mistake. Cause to be enjoyable or pleasurable. Make my day. Change from one form into another. Make water into wine. Compel or make somebody or something to act in a certain way. Heat makes you sweat. Consider as being. Constitute the essence of. Clothes make the man. Develop into. He will make a splendid father. Favor the development of. Practice makes the winner. Form by assembling individuals or constituents. Gather and light the materials for. Make a fire. Make by shaping or bringing together constituents. Make a dress. Perform or carry out. Make a decision. Reach in time. Undergo fabrication or creation. This wool makes into a nice sweater. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Have or possess, either in a concrete or an abstract sense. Have sex with, archaic use. Have ownership or possession of. How many cars does she have? Achieve a point or goal. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Have a feeling. Get something. Come into possession of. A person who possesses great material wealth. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Undergo. Have as a feature. Cause to be born. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Receive willingly something given or offered. The only girl who would have him was the miller's daughter. Have a personal or business relationship with someone. Have a postdoc. Have left. I have 2 years left. Suffer from. Be ill with. Provide the needed stimulus for. Stir feelings in. Stimulate my appetite. Cause to be alert and energetic. Coffee and tea stimulate me. Stir the feelings, emotions, or peace of. Cause to occur rapidly. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Act as a stimulant. The book stimulated her imagination. Reach with a blow or hit in a particular spot. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Leave immediately. Used usually in the imperative form. Perceive by hearing. She didn't get his name when they met the first time. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Give certain properties to something. Get someone mad. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Suffer from the receipt of. Receive as a retribution or punishment. Take vengeance on or get even. We'll get them. Achieve a point or goal. Move into a desired direction of discourse. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Get an idea. Irritate. Her childish behavior really get to me. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. Apprehend and reproduce accurately. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. It must be getting more serious. Attract and fix. Receive a specified treatment, abstract. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Come into the possession of something concrete or abstract. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Reach a destination. Arrive by movement or progress. She didn't get to Chicago until after midnight. Go or come after and bring or take back. Grasp with the mind or develop an understanding of. Did you get it? Acquire as a result of some effort or action. You cannot get water out of a stone. A return on a shot that seemed impossible to reach and would normally have resulted in a point for the opponent. Communicate with a place or person. Establish communication with, as if by telephone. The operator couldn't get Kobe because of the earthquake. Evoke an emotional response. Brahms's Requiem gets me every time. Overcome or destroy. Purchase. What did you get at the toy store? Reach and board. Reach by calculation. What do you get when you add up these numbers? Any entity that produces an effect or is responsible for events or results. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Cause a commotion. A comprehensive term for any proceeding in a court of law whereby an individual seeks a legal remedy. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. They worked in the cause of world peace. A justification for something existing or happening. He had no cause to complain. Events that provide the generative force that is the origin of something. They are trying to determine the cause of the crash. Produce electric current by electrostatic or magnetic processes. Cause to arise. Induce a crisis. Cause to occur rapidly. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. The ads induced me to buy a VCR. Reason or establish by induction. Provide. Be conducive to. Bestow a quality on. Contribute to some cause. A person who contributes to the fulfillment of a need or furtherance of an effort or purpose. They hired additional help to finish the work. A means of serving. There's no help for it. Improve the condition of. These pills will help the patient. Give help or assistance. Be of service. Everyone helped out during the earthquake. A person or thing that is a resource that helps make something easier or possible to do. The activity of contributing to the fulfillment of a need or furtherance of an effort or purpose. Offered his help in unloading. Abstain from doing. Always used with a negative. I can't help myself. I have to smoke. Be of use. This will help to prevent accidents. Help to some food. Help with food or drink. I served him 3 times, and after that he helped himself. Take or use. She helped herself to some of the office supplies. Contribute to the furtherance of. This money will help the development of literacy in developing countries. Improve. Change for the better. New slipcovers will help the old living room furniture. Give one's silent approval to. Give one's silent approval to. Give heart or courage to. A verbalization that encourages you to attempt something. A sharp prod fixed to a rider's heel and used to urge a horse onward. Cowboys know not to squat with their spurs on. A railway line connected to a trunk line. Any sharply pointed projection. Equip with spurs. Spur horses. Goad with spurs. The rider spurred his horse. Incite or stimulate. The academy was formed to spur research. Strike with a spur. Tubular extension at the base of the corolla in some flowers. Be in charge of. The introductory section of a story. It was an amusing lead-in to a very serious matter. Take somebody somewhere. We lead him to our chief. Produce as a result or residue. Be conducive to. The use of computers in the classroom lead to better writing. Lead, as in the performance of a composition. A jumper that consists of a short piece of wire. It was a tangle of jumper cables and clip leads. A news story of major importance. Travel in front of. Go in advance of others. Lead, extend, or afford access. Move ahead of others, in time or space. Preside over. A soft, heavy, toxic, malleable metallic element. Bluish-white when freshly cut but tarnishes readily to dull gray. The children were playing with lead soldiers. Cause something to pass or lead somewhere. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. Be ahead of others. Be the first. An actor who plays a principal role. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. The police are following a promising lead. Thin strip of metal used to separate lines of type in printing. Restraint consisting of a rope, or light chain, used to restrain an animal. The timing of ignition relative to the position of the piston in an internal combustion engine. An indication of potential opportunity. A good lead for a job. Mixture of graphite with clay in different degrees of hardness. The marking substance in a pencil. An advantage held by a competitor in a race. He took the lead at the last turn. A position of being the initiator of something and an example that others will follow, especially in the phrase, take the lead. He takes the lead in any group. Baseball. The position taken by a base runner preparing to advance to the next base. He took a long lead off first. Cause to undertake a certain action. Sports. The score by which a team or individual is winning. Tend to or result in. This remark lead to further arguments among the guests. The angle between the direction a gun is aimed and the position of a moving target, correcting for the flight time of the missile. The playing of a card to start a trick in bridge. The lead was in the dummy. Transmit or serve as the medium for transmission. The airwaves carry the sound. Transfer, entries, from one account book to another. Have with oneself, have on one's person. I always carry money. Drink alcohol without showing ill effects. He had drunk more than he could carry. Serve as a means for expressing something. Continue or extend. Include as the content, broadcast or publicize. Win approval or support for. Have on hand. Do you carry kerosene heaters? Behave in a certain manner. Contain or hold, have within. Propel. Move while supporting, either in a vehicle or in one's hands or on one's body. You must carry your camping gear. Support or hold in a certain manner. Be pregnant with. I am carrying his child. Be able to feed. This land will carry 10 cows to the acre. Bear, a crop. This land does not carry olives. Bear or be able to bear the weight, pressure, or responsibility of. How many credits is this student carrying? Be conveyed over a certain distance. Be equipped with a mast or sail. This boat can only carry a small sail. Be necessarily associated with or result in or involve. Be successful in. Capture after a fight. Compensate for a weaker partner or member by one's own performance. I resent having to carry her all the time. Cover a certain distance or advance beyond. Extend to a certain degree. Carry too far. Have a certain range. Have as an inherent or characteristic feature or have as a consequence. These bonds carry warrants. Have on the surface or on the skin. Carry scars. Have or possess something abstract. I carry her image in my mind's eye. Include, as on a list. Keep up with financial support. Pass on a communication. Propel or give impetus to. Pursue a line of scent or be a bearer. The dog was taught to fetch and carry. Secure the passage or adoption of bills and motions. Sing or play against other voices or parts. He cannot carry a tune. Take further or advance. Carry a cause. The act of carrying something. Transfer. A number, cipher, or remainder, to the next column or units place before or after, in addition or multiplication. Put down 5 and carry 2. Win in an election. Food for domestic livestock. Take in food, used of animals only. Profit from in an exploitatory manner. He feeds on her insecurity. Give food to. Introduce continuously. Feed carrots into a food processor. Provide with fertilizers or add nutrients to. Move along, of liquids. The Missouri feeds into the Mississippi. Gratify. Feed one's eyes on a gorgeous view. Feed into. Supply. Her success feeds her vanity. Provide as food. Serve as food for. Be the food for. This dish feeds 6. Support or promote. Providing or receiving nurture or parental care though not related by blood or legal ties. Foster parent. United States songwriter whose songs embody the sentiment of the South before the American Civil War, 1826 to 1864. Promote the growth of. Help develop, help grow. Bring up under fosterage, of children. Be conducive to. Laugh at with contempt and derision. Spur on or encourage especially by cheers and shouts. A building or group of buildings used to house military personnel. Lodge in barracks. Make visible. Bring before the public for the first time, as of an actor, song, etc. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Bring out the truth. Prepare an issue for public distribution or sale. Direct attention to, as if by means of contrast. Bring onto the market or release. Bring out a book. Bring out of a specific state. Take out of a container or enclosed space. Encourage to be less reserved. The teacher tried to bring out the shy boy. Cause somebody to feel happier or more cheerful. She tried to cheer up the disappointed child when he failed to win the spelling bee. Become cheerful. Give encouragement to. The quality of being cheerful and dispelling gloom. Flowers added a note of cheerfulness to the drab room. Spur on or encourage especially by cheers and shouts. The crowd cheered the demonstrating strikers. A cry or shout of approval. Show approval or good wishes by shouting. Everybody cheered the birthday boy.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.